more makeup oriented videos help me to advance my skills and to teach you guys more things. I do try to get ready with me's, but I wanted to do a little more instructional video this time. Let me know how you like this. I think that this is a really good video to start with. I am a huge believer that in order for your makeup to look good and put together, you need a really solid base. So I'm going to show you what I do to prep my skin, how I get a really flawless foundation, concealer application, powder, and then I'm also going to show you my contour, bronzer, blush, and highlight. So just how to get a full flawless base. I say flawless, not saying that my skin is flawless. I'm just saying how to make your skin look the best that it can, last the longest, give the most amount of coverage kind of thing. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks and what products I like to achieve my flawless foundation. Without any further ado, let's get into my tips and tricks and tutorial. 100%, I think that the first thing that you need to start with is a really good exfoliator. You need to have really nice skin, a really smooth base in order to have a good makeup application. I've been using the Clean & Clear Acne Triple Clear Exfoliating Scrub. I really like their morning brightening scrub as well. I went ahead and applied this. You can see that it left my skin really radiant and just like squeaky clean almost without feeling dried out. I have nothing else on my skin right now. So 100% use an exfoliator before you go in and do your makeup. Not every day. I don't do this every day, not for work, not for everyday wear, but if you're doing a flawless base and you want to achieve a really put together flawless look, then definitely use an exfoliator beforehand. After using the exfoliator, my next tip is to prime. I'm a big proponent in primers. I know that not everyone is, but I really believe in primers and finishing spray. I'll show you what one I use at the end. Right now, my two favorite primers to use in combination with one another are the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock Primer, Illuminating Primer, and the Glossier Priming Moisturizer Buildable Highlighting Cream. And those products just look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply each of these, explaining what they do for my skin, what kind of skin type I have, etc. So this Glossier Hydrating Cream that I'm going in with now is really just made to hydrate the face. As the name says, I have pretty dry skin. I don't really have oily skin, so the primers that I use are geared towards my skin type. Obviously, I use hydrating primers in order to make my foundation blend into my skin really easily and have no dry patches, etc., and look as flawless and natural as it can. So if you have oily skin, you would want to go in with a mattifying primer. I know that L'Oreal has a Pro Matte primer as well as the Pro Glow. Just check what skin type you have, figure out what primers work best for you. So that one there is the Glossier one, leaves a super pretty finish on my skin. And then I go in with this Illuminating Glow Lock Primer, and I concentrate this one a little bit more in my T-zone as it has a kind of silicone texture to it. So it does a nice job of blurring any texture that I have, as well as adding extra hydration and illumination. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this out. I really love the feel of this primer on my skin. It's definitely expensive as far as drugstore products go, but you get a ton of product and you don't need to use that much. I know it looks like I applied it a lot, but I really just applied small amounts in lots of different places on my face. So I would go ahead and check out both of these primers if you are interested in a new primer and you have a skin type similar to my own. So that is how those products look on my skin now. My skin is super hydrated and illuminated, as you can tell. If I was doing a no makeup day, I would even go out like this. Yeah, very healthy, illuminated. So now I'm going to go in with my current Holy Grail foundation, and this is a somewhat new discovery, but I've been using it consistently for the past 3 or 4 weeks. The Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation. So I just go ahead and apply a fairly generous amount onto my skin. As you can see, it's hard to see on my skin because it is such a good color match for my skin. So I apply that everywhere. And then I go ahead and buff this out with the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I really like this brush for buffing, but it sheds like crazy on me. So if you have a cheaper option of a really good buffing brush, let me know. I'm in the market for one because I love this one, but it really sheds on me as I use it. and I'm not a fan of that. So let me know if you have a good recommendation. Press this into the skin. You can see I'm not like swiping it down. I'm really pressing it into each area of my face. And I try not to put too much around my eye area so that when I go in with my concealer, I don't have too much product already there because my face is really prone to creasing. So I try to keep my foundation a little bit away from my under eyes so that I can just keep concealer there and it won't crease as badly. And that is what that looks like. So you can still see a little bit of redness peeking through, but here all those spots are pretty much covered. I really love the finish of this foundation. It is just so good for my skin type and my skin tone. The shade match is like literally exactly what I need. As you can see, there's still a healthy glow underneath, so if you wanted to go out literally just wearing this product, you easily could and you look really put together. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is another holy grail product for me. You guys probably know this. I've talked about it on my channel so many times before, so because this is a full coverage look, not an everyday look by any means, I'm going to go in with a good amount of concealer. So I have a lot of spotting around here, which the foundation covered for the most part, but I'm just going in and covering that a little bit more. I know it's kind of hard to see because my skin is so fair, but I'm highlighting this upper bit and down the nose. On a daily basis, I literally just put it on any spots that I have, but this is just the full 9 yards to give you guys an example. And I love blending out my concealer with the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. I was a big lover of the Beauty Blender for years, but I've since switched to this. It's cheaper, it works even better in my opinion, so pick up one of these if you haven't already. You can get them at Walmart for pretty inexpensive, so blend this out. And same thing as the buffing motion and pressing motion of the brush that I use, the buffing brush for my foundation. I'm really pressing it in to get that blended in with the foundation really nicely. And that is what that looks like, all blended out, super healthy. You can still see that healthy glow underneath, and everything is like completely covered, flawless, as I said. And at this point, I like to go in with a setting powder under the eyes. So today I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in 05 Fair. Before I apply this under my under eyes, I like to go in one last time and really press that concealer in underneath. When I'm applying this powder, I like to look up because I'm super prone to under eye creasing pretty much no matter what I do. Yeah, that just minimizes it like a little bit. And as you can see, I like to carry it down kind of into this area and press against the sides of my nose because I find that those areas for me really crease as well. So just like the concealer, I really go in and press like a triangle shape under my eyes. And I don't bake in the traditional sense. I really just press it in under there, and I don't even really wipe it away. I just kind of leave it there. Then with any excess product, I'll loosely put it on my chin and my T-zone. Then at this point, I like to go in with my Holy Grail powder foundation. As you can see, my face is super flawless as is, so I just go in with a small amount of this to kind of blend everything together and make it that much more full coverage and flawless. And this is the MAC Studio Fix in the shade NC10 and my BH Cosmetics like stiff buffing brush. I really like the combination of these two together. They perform super nicely. And just taking that in like a swirling motion, and just like all the other products, just lightly pressing it into my skin. I usually just dip into the pan once and just put whatever I get on my brush because, as I said, I don't really need this product at this point, but I just like it because it makes it that much easier to blend product over top when you have a powder down rather than just a cream product. When you go in with your bronzer and your blush and your highlighter, it just blends on the skin a lot nicer when you have a powder product already down. Okay, so that is what the finished base looks like once I'm done all those base products. I initially was just going to do this as my video, how to get a super flawless base, but then I figured that bronzing, contouring, blush, and highlight contributes a lot to that overall look, so I figured I would just include that as well super quickly. So I've never really been a big fan of contouring, but lately I've been trying it out and really liking it. So for contouring, contour, I go in with the Hoola Benefit Bronzer and this BH Cosmetics 126 brush. I really love the combination of these two together. Swirl this brush around. It is a super nice shape to just fit in the contours of my face, so I love it. And this contour color isn't too intense contour. A lot of people use this color to bronze, but I really like it for contour, so I just suck in my cheeks and you'll see how I do it. So as you can see, I'm using a super light hand, just outlining the natural contours of my face. I'm going to do one full side and show you guys the difference. You can already kind of see that this side goes in a little bit. So I'm going to do one full side and then finish the other one, but I'll show you the comparison between the two and the difference that it makes. So that is how the contour looks on me. I just do a little bit under my jaw on my forehead to give some definition, and then on the sides here. So you can see straight on that this side just goes up a little bit and looks a little more sculpted. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest on the other side and then show you how I bronze. Okay, so that is what both sides look like sculpted. It just gives a nice added definition to my face and really just makes it look better in my opinion. And then I'm going to go in and bronze, and today I'm going to take this Dior bronzer. It doesn't have a name on it, but I'll have it linked down below, and this Real Techniques blush brush. I think those products just look like that, and as I said, they work really nicely together. So I just swirl this around, super crazy, like buff it off, and then I just do this pretty sloppily, to be honest. I just really go over those areas that I just contoured, add some color into my skin. That is what that looks like. Just super pretty, adds such a nice glow and color to the skin. And then I like to go back and clean it up with the Maybelline Fit Me powder again. This adds a really sculpted look to the face as well. So I just go right there and bake it in. This is the only real traditional baking that I do on my face, and it just really gives a nice sculpted look. And I like to carry it down my chin as well. And there you can see how intense it looks, but I'm going to dust it away and it'll look a little more natural. So I let that bake while I do my blush and my highlight. For blush today, I'm just gonna go in with my classic NARS Orgasm and my BH Cosmetics blush brush. Press that in as well. I'm pretty sloppy when it comes to like getting product out of their packaging. Not really precise, and I just like to apply this right to my cheekbones and then a little bit higher because you guys know I love my blush. I kind of like to bring it down, bring it up, blend it in with my bronzer so that you don't get that like Neapolitan brown, pink, white striped highlight. I don't like that look, so you really want to make sure that everything's blended together in the end. And then as far as highlight goes today, I'm going to go in with my ColourPop Super Shock Cheek in Stole the Show. This is the perfect highlight color for me, and for this I'm going to apply it with my BH Cosmetics highlighting brush. It doesn't have a number on it, so sorry. Swirl that around, and I like to apply my highlight right down the center of my nose, my cupid's bow, as well as the obvious highlight points on my face on my cheekbones. I don't like to do a swipe back and forth. I like to kind of do tiny little circles and just apply it that way on my face, and I seriously love this highlighter. It gives the prettiest glow. Now I'm going to go in and kind of buff away that baking that was underneath, and powder, it flies everywhere during this process, and I kind of bring it up as I'm going to blend in all of this product up here. Then finally, I like to go in with my Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist, and this doesn't do anything in the way of making your makeup last. It really just adds hydration and makes it look more like your skin, because we did put on a good amount of product. That is how I get a super flawless base. I know this looks a little funny because I don't have my eyebrows on, I don't have a lip on, and I don't have mascara or eyeliner on, but with everything together, it just comes together so nicely, and I'm super excited with how this turned out. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys are excited to see more makeup focused content. Let me know if there's anything you want me to focus on. I can do a video on my favorites of any category. I can do a video showing you how to do simple eyeshadow looks. I can do a video on how to apply false lashes. Really anything that you guys want